This is the Barbados Today afternoon news for Friday, November 17. Thank you for joining us. I am Marie-Claire Williams. It will soon be more difficult for people to slip through the island's ports of entry with illegal guns and other contraband items. The announcement from Finance Minister Chris Sinckler, who signed a $15 million loan agreement with the Latin American Development Bank this morning. The deal, which is also known as the Tax Administration Infrastructure Reform Program, will also allow authorities to identify tax evaders. The overall cost of the two-year project is $18.93 million and is divided into three components: an integrated tax administration system, the purchase of customs scanners, and support for the consolidation of tax reform.
This component involves the acquisition of scanning equipment for the Grantley Adams International Airport and the Barbados Port Inc. And since Barbados depends very heavily on its tourism industry and of course on trade, international trade, it is critical that both of the main ports of entry are adequately equipped to deal with this business. In recent times, slow processing due to manual operations by the Customs and Excise departments at both ports has had a not so positive effect on the country's image and also on the business of trade and commerce in the country. And therefore, we have had to take a very serious look at the reform process in these issues. Of course, this has been, of these systems, of course, this has been compounded by the problems of detection of both dutiable items, but also contraband and illegal substances.
Vice Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, Sir Hilary Beckles, says Barbados has nothing to fear over a proposal to establish a fourth campus in Antigua. The proposal from the Gaston Brown administration has been presented to the UWI Council, and it will be subjected to a feasibility analysis in the coming months before a final report is submitted in April.
What has happened is that the OECS has long been categorized, but not. The OECS has for the longest while had the lowest enrollment in higher education in the hemisphere. Mm-hmm. So if you take the age cohort 18 to 30, and you run the numbers for the hemisphere from Canada down to Argentina, the OECS has the lowest enrollment of young people in that age group 18 to 30 in higher education and post-secondary education. And they believe that this is obviously holding back their development because, you know, the potential of a country for transformation, innovation, and growth is an expression of the number of its citizens who have had higher education, professional training, and generally speaking, the development of social capital. So, in a sense, those countries have been saying to the university for the longest while that they consider themselves underserved.
The International Monetary Fund tells the Caribbean it will support the region's fight to protect correspondent banking relationships. IMF Managing Director Christine Lagarde says there's been some progress with a major correspondent bank to provide technical support to respondent banks in the region. Lagarde did not name the institution, but she told a high-level forum in Jamaica that this is in an effort to better understand the situation and to help banks in the Caribbean to upgrade their systems and improve their processes to satisfy the requirements by the former correspondent banks. Meanwhile, Lagarde is holding up 3 CARICOM member states as examples of well-designed fiscal rules. She told the Caribbean Forum that Grenada, Jamaica and St. Kitts Nevis all have systems that have helped to guide consolidation efforts, and those countries recently adopted IMF-sponsored programs in a bid to address their fiscal challenges. Barbados Today's Marlon Madden is attending the forum and files this report.
Addressing the high-level meeting in Kingston, Jamaica on Thursday, the IMF chief said too often Caribbean leaders allowed politics and electoral cycles to get in the way of fiscal policies designed to grow their economies. Lagarde complained that several Caribbean countries have been recording low economic growth for decades, which she said has led to social problems including crime and youth unemployment. The Freundel-Stewart administration has been under increasing pressure from top economists and the private sector to turn to the IMF for help to reverse the worrying slide in foreign exchange reserves, high debt and wide fiscal deficit. The IMF leader did not single out any country but spoke broadly to the urgent need for economic growth, which he said was critical to addressing the economic and social issues affecting some countries in the region.
Growth has also been affected by structural impediments, and a few come to mind. The high cost of electricity, limited access to credit for both households and small and medium-sized enterprises, high rates of violent crime, and a persistent outflow of highly skilled workers, the well-known brain drain.
Lagarde also put regional leaders on notice that in light of recent hurricanes, the IMF stood willing and ready to assist wherever possible. Marlon Madden reporting for Barbados Today.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Indulge your every craving at this year's Barbados Food and Rum Festival, November 16th to 19th. Thursday, the festival kicks off at Oyston's. Friday, the Barbados Concord Experience, 8 chefs, 6 mixologists and the energetic Spice & Company. Saturday, taste the spirits of polo featuring Chef Jason Howard. This would not be Barbados without a beach party. Sunday, enjoy an impressive lineup of Barbadian entertainers at the Hilton for Feet in the Sand. And the weekend would not be complete without the Gourmet Safari Dinner Series at the Cliff, the Crane and the Tides. Remember, November 16th to 19th. Get your tickets at TicketPal box offices today.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back now with news from the region. At least 5 people were killed in Haiti this week due to flooding in several areas. Authorities in Port-au-Prince say several rivers overflowed their banks and floods were widespread in departments in the north, west and south of the country. 5 people were washed away between Sunday and Thursday. The latest weather forecast predicts heavy showers will continue until Saturday. And the first assessment from the Civil Protection Unit says at least 10,000 homes have been flooded, especially in the city of Lekki and Maniche. Several roads have also been destroyed. Further afield, Venezuela's opposition leader Antonio Ledzema, who has been under house arrest in Caracas, has fled over the border to Colombia. He was detained in 2015 on allegations of plotting a coup against the Nicolas Maduro government. Ledzema was best known detained opponent of President Maduro's government after Leopoldo Lopez, who is also under house arrest in Caracas. The former Caracas metropolitan mayor spearheaded street protests against Maduro in 2014 that led to months of violence and 43 deaths. And finally, authorities in Saudi Arabia are striking agreements with some of those arrested in an anti-corruption crackdown. They are asking the accused to hand over assets and cash in return for their freedom. We get more in this Reuters report.
It's been nearly 2 weeks since dozens of Saudi Arabia's elite were detained in an anti-graft purge, part of a ruthless transformation of the kingdom by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Now, sources say authorities are striking deals, asking some of those detained to hand over assets and cash in return for their freedom. One businessman agreed to tens of millions of Saudi riyals being withdrawn from his bank account. Another former senior official signed away ownership of 4 billion riyals, or more than $1 billion worth of shares. Royalty, senior officials and businessmen have been detained in the inquiry, including billionaire Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, one of the richest men in the world and likened as the Middle East's Warren Buffett. A newly formed anti-corruption committee was created by royal decree and is chaired by 32-year-old Prince Mohammed. It has the power to use, quote, whatever measures are deemed necessary to seize companies, funds and other assets. But many analysts say the goal of this purge goes beyond corruption and is aimed at removing any potential opposition to the young prince as he pushes a controversial reform agenda. Saudi authorities have pledged fair justice to those detained.
And that's news this afternoon. Remember, there's more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Mary Claire Williams. Have a good afternoon.